Hi everyone, good morning. So I usually start any of my workshops by asking, why are you attending this workshop? What are you expecting from this workshop? So maybe we'll start from that. You all saw a small post and possibly a voice note also about this workshop. So would somebody want to go in with what do you wish to learn from this workshop and why are you attending this workshop? Who wants to go in first?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, you can call me Tarun. Yeah, good morning, Hemant. Go ahead.
We should all learn from experiences by doing mistakes. We should learn from that mistakes by not only experience,
Okay.
by also learning from the mistakes we have done during the experience. Learning from that will make a big impact on our future.
Okay.
And today I want to learn how your from your experience, how you teach, how can I benefit from that.
Okay. Thank you, Hemant. You want to learn how to improve with experiences. Okay. Who wants to go in next?
Sir, good morning, sir. Myself, Deepak Rao, sir. Sir, I joined this workshop to know my relation mistake where I have gone wrong, and from this I would do better next attempt, and I would learn a great experience from it.
Okay. Thank you, Deepak. Who is going in next? What do you want to learn from this workshop and why are you attending this workshop? We'll listen to two more. It's very important for us to know our expectations before we go into a workshop. That's when our mind is properly tuned to the workshop, right? Yeah. Yeah, Brijesh.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
I joined in this session to improve my skill set from the deep thought, and
Okay.
I want to experience more the outer world.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
Okay. Thank you, Brijesh. All of you, please keep your videos on. The ones with videos off would be removed from the link. Yeah. One more person who wants to go in. Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to improve myself. And before sessions, I was not able to attend few sessions, and I feel bad about that. And I want to improve myself and get into the deep thought. So that's it. Thank you.
Okay. So I would like to make a few clarifications before we go into the workshop. We are not doing this workshop because you people will want to learn how to clear the deep thought selection process or you want to clear the selection process of a company, right? We will discuss this later in the workshop, but I think if your goal is to get selected somewhere, that's a very small goal. If your goal is to get a medal or if your goal is to get selected in some college or get selected in a company, that's a very small goal. If your goal is to get selected in Stanford or Harvard, I will say that's still a very small goal. If your goal is to get selected in Facebook or Google, I will say it's a very small goal. But if your goal is to bring out the best version of yourself, that's a very nice goal. Is your goal about internal transformation or is your goal about getting external validation? External validation means your teacher praising you, your parents praising you, your relatives praising you, right? And all of that, that is external validation. But internal goals are the goals where you want to improve yourself, right? Now, people who chase internal goals are the ones who become great leaders and they drive a lot of impact. The people who are chasing internal goals. That is when Rakesh says, I want to think clearly the next time. In my family, if they have a problem, they should come to me for asking for advice. I should be the Birbal of my family. Right? Or when Deepak says, in my gully cricket team, when they are confused, when the opposition is too strong, they should come to me for advising them on what to do in that situation. You're not doing this for external validation. You're doing this to make yourself better. Okay, that for me is a crucial prerequisite. So the objective of this session is not to teach you, no, Saurabh, we don't have a thread building.
Okay, I'll create.
Yeah. The objective of the session is not to teach you how to clear the deep thought selection process. The objective of the session is whenever you're going through, today morning I read on LinkedIn, someone said, never let a good crisis go waste. Never let a good crisis go waste. Never let a good crisis go waste. If you have a crisis, you can make good use of that crisis and get better. Let me tell you why this workshop is important for you. Professor Jim Collins, a former professor at Stanford University. Professor Jim Collins, a former professor at Stanford University, he says that during a crisis, bad companies collapse. During a crisis, bad companies collapse. Good companies survive. Great companies get better. Forget about any other company. Look at Deep Thought. We were an NGO called Scienceation. We were rotting for 9 years. For 9 years, there was no progress. The pandemic came out. Within 6 months, we did our first round of funding. Within another 1 year, another round of funding. We kept growing after the pandemic. Because during the pandemic, what happened? All the schools and colleges didn't know how to function. People didn't know how to function. But we had methods how to function. So we went ahead of the others. So do you want to get to that situation where in a crisis you get better while you just get better in tough situations? Do you want to get to that situation? That when the situation is tough for everyone, for you, you're growing. Do you want that constant growth in your life? No?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, but,
Yes, sir.
but looks like you're not serious about it. Your body language tells me that you're still puzzled. This is why I want everyone's videos on. Please keep your videos on. I'll be effective only if your video is on. And if I'm effective, you will transform. So what I'm trying to tell you is if your video is off, my session will not be of any use to you. If your video is off, my session will not be of any use to you. Again, I repeat, if your video is off, my session will not be of any use to you. Yeah. So do you want that constant growth? If you want that constant growth, reflection is very important. Now let us see reflection through simple examples. Now, let us say you're drawing a dog. The face of the dog is this big. The face of the dog is this big. And the stomach of the dog is this big. You drew it like that. You look at the picture. What do you do? Let's say you drew it with a pencil. What do you do?
Erase it and making right.
How?
We correct our mistakes with, we drew with a pencil, no? So we erased it with a eraser.
But before you correct it, what do you do? Before you correct it?
Visualize the image.
Sorry?
Visualize the image.
Correct. Why are you visualizing it before correcting?
Because I want to
To
get
have
the
better
clear
picture.
picture of a dog.
Correct. What happens if you don't have a clear picture of a dog?
I wouldn't be drawing a good image.
Right? So, what are you doing when you're trying to visualize the dog? I repeat one
We are
last
trying to
time.
be perfect.
Sorry, I repeat one last time.
We are seeing where the dog's part has been gone wrong, where the parts has gone wrong.
Okay. So you visualize where it went wrong. You visualize where you need improvement. You visualize where it needs improvement. And what else do you do there? Let's say the tail of the dog was very beautiful. Then what do you do?
We will make it another animal.
No. Let's say the
Convert this
tail of the dog was very beautiful. What will you do from that?
I would start drawing from the tail.
No, but why would you erase that tail if the tail was beautiful?
We'll keep that tail and redraw the whole body.
Okay, you'll redraw the whole body, but you'll keep the tail. Okay, interesting. Now, when you get something right, what do you do during reflection? Let's say the tail was very beautiful. What would you do during reflection?
Appreciate.
Appreciate, beautiful. Apart from appreciating?
I would rough the Rub the whole drawing and make it again.
I forget about correction, boss. Something went right. You appreciated. Apart from appreciating, what do you do?
Find out how did it went right.
Exactly. That's a very crucial piece, right? If you got it right, does it necessarily mean you know how to get it right? Why not?
Because it happened by accident.
It
One
could
part-
have happened by accident. Not necessary that it happened by accident. It could have happened by accident. Does that make sense?
No.
I'm saying maybe you knew how to do it. Maybe you knew that is the right way to do and you did it. And maybe it is possible that you did it by fluke. Now let us say you're playing cricket. You're playing cricket and there's a friend of yours who always hits on the leg side. That fellow doesn't know how to play cricket. Just with full shoulder power, that fellow hits on the leg side. Right? And you know this fellow is like, you know, in Hyderabad you call Addi Mari Guddi, no? So they close the eyes and just hit. So that fellow is just closing the eyes and hitting. Then what you'll do, you'll bowl the ball very far away from his shoulders. And the fellow misses. So is this fluke? Was this fluke? You bowled the ball very far away from his shoulders. Was this fluke?
Yes, I
No.
think, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
Why is it not fluke?
Because it was a perfectly planned and observed thing.
Exactly. With planning and observation, you did this. But let us say there is a batsman. You bowled some ball, it fell down and turned and went somewhere, and the fellow didn't know how to play it. You bowled something, it turned and went. Is this planned?
No,
No.
Now, are these accidents good?
no.
They're good. They're source of innovation. World's greatest inventions happened as accidents.
Sir, but
Yes, sir.
how can it be good?
Because you're learning from it. It worked for you, no? That fellow didn't know how
We
to.
can read.
Yeah, Rakesh.
Sir,
We
but
can
that ball
retry it again.
was went for 4 or 6.
You by mistake you bowled that ball which turned and went. And that fellow didn't know how to play it. The fellow didn't know how to play it because it turned. So now what do you do? First time you did it by mistake. Second time, how will you do?
I would try
By
to
planning.
do that again.
You try to do
Put
that
the ball
again.
again.
How will you be able to do that again?
If we by
By
planning,
trying.
By understanding the mechanics of it. Understand how it happened. Okay, I would like to take a moment to explain you why you study textbooks. Why you study textbooks. Unfortunately, your school teachers or college teachers may not have told you why we study textbooks. The reason why we study textbooks is we humans are very, very curious. We humans are very, very curious. We observe things, we reflect, and then we figure out how world works. We figure out how the world works. And once we understand how the world works, we write textbooks. Why do we write textbooks once we know how the world works? Let us say Meher is a very, very good batsman. He's the best batsman in the college. I play cricket with him for 3 days. I understand all his weaknesses. I understand all his strengths. I'll write a 20-page book and publish on the internet. Will the college download my book and read?
no.
Think. Meher is the best batsman. I observed and I write notes. What are his strengths, where not to bowl? What are his weaknesses, where to bowl, what to do, how to put field sets for him, and all. I write a textbook. Will people download my textbook?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Yes.
If they are
Of
going
course,
against
know the
the
They
details.
want
tradition.
to learn something which they don't know.
To know about him.
To know
If
more
they
about
can
him.
learn something from
To know
me,
about him.
they can help them improve their batting skills.
By learning that, you can go and go with a very good strategy against Meher, right?
Yes.
So this is why textbooks are made, that somebody else observed the world, and whatever they observed in the world, they're describing it. That is theory. Theory is the ideas which we're getting around the world. And through reflection, we get all those ideas. Your textbook gives you the ideas, but what happens when you read the textbook directly? Will you connect with the idea?
No.
You won't.
No.
You see it as sentences. And
We need
sentences are
practical
boring.
also.
It's not practical. It's actually theoretical. Theoretical means you being able to imagine ideas. Textbook is having sentence. You want that sentence to become a idea. How will the sentence become an idea?
If
By
we
reading
think
carefully
about
and
it,
by
ideas.
visualizing.
Visualizing, by reflecting on it, thinking about it, questioning it. How? We will see. We will see. That's why you're here today. I'll give more examples. Cricket was one example. I have 2 more examples. One history example I'll bring. But some questions. Yeah, Tushar, go ahead.
Yeah, so you were talking about accidents, right? Now, what if when something happens by mistake, something that was supposed to happen did not happen and you did not learn from it?
Correct. So, see, your accidents can be having a positive influence on your outcome. Your accidents can have negative influence on the outcome. Now, let us say you're trying to make a dosa, right? And by accident, you put something there. The dosa would have turned out to be really good. So, is this a positive accident or a negative accident?
Positive.
You did something and the
Positive.
dosa became very bad. You got loose motions next day. Positive accident or negative accident?
Negative.
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 Health-wise, no damage, but the taste was horrible. Positive accident or negative accident?
Negative.
Positive.
Negative and positive, respectively.
Exactly. So in every accident, there are some positives and there are some negatives, right?
Yes.
Now, if you are a smart fellow, what will you do?
I will prepare for my health more than test.
No, you'll take both the positives and negatives. No. If I give you a
Yes,
gold mine
I will learn from my negatives.
and
Definitely I will learn
positives,
positive.
learn from your positives also. Positive came by fluke. No, next time it should not be fluke. Next time it should be method.
Okay. Yeah, I got it, sir.
I'll give you a simple example. When I used to play cricket, once what happened is my foot landed in wrong position. Generally, foot has to land like this, no? The foot has to land like this, right? Once my foot landed like this. So what will happen when my foot lands like this? I'll slip, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I slipped, my wrist went like this. When my wrist goes like this, the ball turns. Because my foot landed in wrong position, the ball turned and went. Because my foot landed in wrong position, ball turned and went. So was it an accident or was it planning?
Accident.
Accident, sir.
Was the result positive or was the
Positive.
result negative?
Negative and positive.
Can be positive and negative both.
Okay. It was positive, no? The batsman didn't know how to play.
Say, but
And-
if a batsman know
Yes, sir.
how to
Negative
play it
and
and if
positive,
it went for
respectively.
6,
Why negative?
if it went for 6,
Because you don't know where your ball.
Sorry?
Because you don't know where your ball thing.
But what if I do it next time with planning? Srikar, don't do screen sharing. I'll have to remove you from the link if you do that again. So, shoot. Sorry guys, give me 1 minute. Any co-host here?
Yeah.
Sir, can you remove? Thank you. All of you, please keep your videos on. All of you, please keep your videos on. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, it may have happened by fluke, but from next time, you know what I started doing in cricket matches? Purposefully, I would land my leg that way. So what will happen when I purposefully land my leg that way?
The ball will turn, sir.
That became a new method of bowling for me. But did I do this out of planning? Did I do this out of a textbook?
No.
no.
No, by visualizing and thinking.
No, it happened by accident. And in innovation companies, your best things happen through accident. Okay, I'll tell you one big secret of mine. And even Saurav and Nitin don't know this. The secret of the today's Socratic dialogue format. You know, when we used to do Socratic dialogue earlier, it was like a quiz show. We used to have 4 teams on stage. We used to have 4 teams on stage of 3 people. Then we were doing this same show in a TV channel. But in the TV channel, the camera positions, all of them are fixed. We could not get 4 teams on stage at the same time. We only had space for 2 teams. So we said, okay, out of the 4 teams, like, one team will be in the answer box and the question box team will keep changing. We'll rotate, and we came up with the idea of question box, answer box, because we could not have 4 teams on stage. Then we realized this format was better than the old format. Then we kept rotating the question box, answer box. Then later we realized having 4 teams is too time taking. And just 6 months back, we moved from 3 teams format to 2 teams format to save the time. So over the last 7 years, this is how the format evolved. Initially, why 4? Because our role model was quiz show. In quiz show, you have 4 teams on stage. No, we went that way. So when you innovate, you start with a role model. When you innovate, you start with a role model. But with accidents, you learn what is better. It may come as an accident, but the second time you don't want to do it like an accident, you want to do it as planning. Learning from accidents is a very important thing, and reflection teaches you how to learn from accidents. Okay. Yeah, Shubham, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, you said that we write books and learn from it. So when we read books, but some of the points are written by someone else is not understandable. So how we will get those words or those sentences?
Yes.
Because they write on their own views and perspectives. They learn from their own experience. But as the individual, we have not experienced those positions or those scenarios. But how we will learn those things in their own ways?
So see, Shubham, you're always going to be limited by experiences. Okay. We are always going to be limited by experiences. We can't have all the experiences in the world. We can't have all the experiences in the world. We can only have some experiences in the world. So what is the beauty of reflection? Even if you don't have that experience, you can compare it with the experiences that you have and then learn. So which is why what is important is after every experience or after reading every text, you step back and ask, what are the positives I got from it? What are the negatives I got from it? Through this, how would I want to do it better the next time? What do I want to unlearn from here? What do I want to relearn from here? What is that old knowledge of mine that this is challenging? You comparing and introspecting after every sentence is important. Now I will give 2 examples of this. One, both from social studies textbook. You know, when you were in your 6th class, those of you who studied in a CBSE school would have this in your textbook about Awadh. There was a chapter about Awadh. Now, I can be very confident in stating that I think on the 22 people on this Zoom link, I'm sure all 22 would have forgotten the chapter on Awadh. Okay. But let me tell you why that chapter was included. I'll give you an example. Now, in the textbook, they said the Jagirdars agreed to pay a fixed amount of revenue to the king. Now, when you read this sentence, what's that question to ask? What do you mean by fixed amount of revenue? And if I say they agreed to give A to the king, what are the questions you'll ask? If we say that people agreed to give A to the king, what are the questions you would ask?
What is that exactly
Paid
term?
in what form?
No, before the what question, there are more important questions to ask. What are they?
How was it earlier, or why are they giving?
Why are they giving A? What is that B they are getting by giving the A? If I'm giving something, I'm getting something. No, what were they getting by giving the A? And the other question is, why only A? Why not anything else? These are the questions to ask, right? So again, you want to reflect, it's important to have the questions to reflect. Why was it only A? Why was it only fixed revenue? Did they have other models which they could have used? If you don't understand, you can just ask questions, right? It's perfectly okay if you're not understanding. It's my job to explain it in a way that you would understand. So if you don't understand, ask me a question. Because I do know at least 50% of the people didn't understand this piece. I'm saying anywhere, if you're listening to a sentence which is like, Qasim gave A to Vivek. Qasim gave A to Vivek. There are 2 fundamental questions to ask there. One question is, what is that B that Qasim is getting there? And another question to ask is, why is Qasim giving only A? Could he have given B? Let me give a concrete example of this. Qasim gave mangoes to Vivek. Then the 2 questions are, why only mangoes? Why not apples or bananas or something? And what is Qasim getting by giving, mangoes to Vivek? You could say satisfaction. You could say he's bribing him to, get some thing out of him. So that way you can ask these questions. Yeah, Kasim, go ahead with your question.
Sir, I'm not from CBSE education, sir. So I don't know about this chapter. Can you please explain in a lot?
This chapter in some form or the other will be there in state board also, because in state board also you have history. In some other form will be there. Who are Jagidars? Jagidars are the people who collect revenues from the farmers and give it to the king. Jagidars are the people who collect revenue, the taxes from the farmers, and they give it to the king. Now these Jagidars, they were paying fixed revenue. Means the king is telling every month give me 1 lakh. That's it. Now when the textbook is saying they're paying fixed revenue, what is the question you would ask? Other than fixed revenue, what is the other model? What is the other way they could have done? What is the other way other than fixed revenue?
They have been given food items like wheat.
Okay, they could have given barter. Other than revenue, they could have given barter. What is the other model? Let us say Vivek has a shop. I ask Vivek a rent of 10,000 rupees every month. What is the other model?
Share in its profit.
He can give rent as per profits.
That's what Manish said, right? Share in the profits. So there can be a variable model and there can be a fixed model. Correct? What are the two models?
Variable and fixed.
Now the question to ask is why fixed? Why not variable? Now one question is, I'll tell Manish that you can either pay me 10,000 rupees every month, or you can pay me 20% of your profits every month. If Manish is confident that he is going to get 2 lakhs every month, will he agree for fixed or will he agree for variable?
Fixed.
He will agree for fixed.
Why? What if he agrees for variable? How much rent is he giving me?
20%
If
of
you
his
did not
profit.
get a profit
40,000,
more
sir.
than 2 lakhs,
What is 20% of 2 lakh?
40,000
20,000.
So what will he agree on?
fixed installment.
Fixed rent of 10,000. Now what if Manish feels that he's going to be earning anywhere between 50 to 80 and only during peak season like Sankranti and all he'll earn say 1.5 lakh? What will he agree on?
A variable
Variable.
20%.
Variable.
But what if he realizes that for the whole year combined, he's going to earn 1.5 lakhs? I mean, 1.5 lakhs into 12 months. On an average, whole year he's going to get more than 1.5 lakhs. Will he agree for variable or fixed?
Fixed.
If he has
Variable.
taking appetite, he might go variable because he'll say, okay, this month rent is more, next month it'll get adjusted. Right? So, if the Jagidar said that they will pay fixed revenue to the king, what can you conclude?
They are getting
They
more
will-
profits. Jagidars are getting more profits, but they are paying a fixed rent to the king.
Now what is the question you would ask? When you know that these Jagidars are getting lot of revenue, what is the question to ask?
Why didn't the king ask for a variable rent?
No, because my life is easy. No, I don't need to go and check whether how much you're earning.
They are earning.
My life is easy. I need not do revenue estimation.
Sir, by taking those revenue, what are you doing with this to poor people?
That Jagidar won't do, no, that the king will do for poor people. Jagidar's job is to collect the money and give to the king, no?
Yes.
Okay. So the important question to ask is, how are these fellows getting so much revenue? And in the same history textbook, there is one line which says Awadh had rich alluvial soil. Now you understand why reflection is important while reading the textbook. This was there in the 6th class history textbook. But history is not taught like this. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now you might say my BBA textbook is very bad, my BTech textbook is very bad. Your textbook is not bad. The pedagogy is bad. We have to change the pedagogy. That is the way we learn. You can ask questions and you can reflect like this.
What is pedagogy?
Pedagogy is the art and science of teaching. The method of teaching. Like you see right now, I'm using a method of teaching. That's pedagogy. Good pedagogy improves your brain, makes you intelligent. Makes you way more intelligent. So in childhood, people might have told you that some people are intelligent, you are less intelligent, other people are more intelligent. That's nonsense. You can create your intelligence. You know one subject which is the most powerful subject to create intelligence? The world's most powerful subject to create intelligence?
Maths.
Maths.
No,
Science.
maths ka baap. This subject, maths was born
Science.
as a subject.
Physics.
Maths is physics ka baap. Baap ma.
Philosophy.
Sociology.
Philosophy. Philosophy is the mother of all subjects. You go deep into any subject and you study, what degree do they give you?
PhD.
What does it stand for?
Post-graduation.
Doctor of Philosophy. It's not post-graduation. It's a doctoral program. Doctoral program is after post-graduation. So if you do masters in science, what degree do they give you?
MSc.
You do masters in literature? MA, no, Master of Arts. Masters in business?
MBA.
MBA. Okay. Masters in law?
LLB.
LLM. LLB is bachelor.
LLB.
LLM. Right. So now there's a masters of laws. Okay. They're different degrees. But in law, you do a doctoral program. What degree do they give you? PhD. You do a doctoral program in science, PhD. Doctoral program in business, PhD. You go ultimate into anything, it is philosophy. So we engage in that philosophy when we do reflection, right? We create our own ideas. We create our own ways of how the world works. Now, what will happen when you're creating your own ways of how the world works?
We organize the thoughts according to us.
Exactly. Now, do you become dependent on other people, or are you independent?
Independent.
Independent.
Will you run around for help every time, or you'll be able to do things on your own?
No, things on own.
Yeah, this is why reflection is crucial. Because when you do reflection, you'll make your own understanding of the world. Like how Newton, Einstein, all these people had their own understanding of the world. You will have your own understanding of the world. And you'll be able to understand the world faster. This is why reflection is a very powerful tool. It will help you understand the world. What do all these great scientists, artists, researchers, philosophers, all of them do? They look at things around them and they observe. They come up with observations. And people who come up with good observations, they grow very fast because they have an understanding of the world, and by using that understanding of the world, they can do things in a better way. Making sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll give you my third story of how to do reflection. Right now, again from the history textbook. Now, don't tell me you don't know Raja Chola.
No, sir.
He was the dude, in that time went he went with ships everywhere and conquered and came back. He was India's shipman. He would go with ships, go conquer and come back. No other king was that good at conquering all the way till Indonesia and all of that, Myanmar and all of that, right? Very few kings could go beyond the Indian subcontinent and conquer there. Raja Chola was very good. He was the Indian Navy king. He had one of the strongest navies in India. Raja Chola. Okay. Now, if you see Raja Chola, he built the Brihadeshwara temple. Kunjara Mallan was the architect who built this temple. Now, one question is, did Kunjara Mallan make Raja Chola famous, or did Raja Chola make Kunjara Mallan famous?
Raja Chola make famous.
Okay.
Collaborating.
Okay. Today in Warangal also, there's a kingdom, right? You know from which word Warangal word originates? What is the original name of Warangal?
Orugallu.
Orugallu. What does Orugallu mean?
I'm not sure, sir.
There's another name, Sanskrit name. What's the other name before Orugallu?
Not sure.
Ekashila Nagari.
One stone.
Correct. So that was a city which is carved on one stone. That's the story of Warangal. Now today, why is Warangal getting popularity? I mean, why are we talking about Warangal?
Because of the kingdom.
Because it's kingdom.
There's so many kingdoms in the world. There, why are you talking about Warangal? As a historian, why am I talking about Warangal?
Because there are so many ancient architectures.
There's so many things in the world of ancient architecture. Why are we talking about Warangal?
Because it's built on one stone.
Exactly. There's a speciality, so I'm talking. So if you're a king, will history remember you?
No.
No.
Guarantee. For history to remember you, what do you have to do?
Make something.
Especially no one has done.
Do something great works.
So then did Kunjara Mallan give a gift to Rajaraja Chola?
Make something that is honest.
Brihadeshwara temple is one of the greatest monuments in India. So you'd remember the kingdom. So clearly Kunjara Mallan did a huge favor to Rajaraja Chola. But did Rajaraja Chola help Kunjara Mallan?
Yes.
How?
Yes.
He made it.
By giving him a chance to make that temple.
Exactly. There are a lot of creators. But this is a very ambitious thing. Now, a lot of kings would be scared of trying something big. A lot of kings would be scared of trying something big, right? But this fellow tried something big. Right. Now, those of you from SVIT and those of you from St. Mary's, your college is giving you a chance through that internship of changing the learning culture in your college, right? So do you see yourself as a Kunjara Mallan there?
Yes.
You are getting the chance to build something really cool, something ambitious, to build a learning culture in your college. So do you realize this history textbook by reflecting your understanding on reality of the society? The reality of the society is, if you're in a setup like Rajaraja Chola's kingdom, where creators are given chances, you're more likely to grow. But you are given chances when you can build something which that kingdom will gain from, right? You create value for them. But if you're a leader, what do you have to do? Create opportunities for the creators, because only when you can create opportunities for creators, you will have any value as a kingdom. If you're a leader, what to do, that history textbook is telling. If you're a creator, what to do, the history textbook is telling you. The roles of both it is telling you, right? You might say, what Rajaraja Chola, what Ekashila Nagari, it is of no use to me right now. But do you realize history textbook is always useful?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Because what has not
Yes.
changed is the human mind. Human psychology did not change. You can study how human societies work by studying history. Likewise, by studying science, you study how to do experiments and how to learn from experiments. By studying literature, you're studying how to express your emotions, how to express language. Every textbook in school is of some use. But we were not shown why to study the textbook. So if you learn the art of reflection, and if you can reflect on whatever you're learning on a daily basis, what is going to happen?
Gain experience and knowledge.
Now you have a sugarcane juice. You take out the juice only once. How much juice will you get?
Minimum 1 glass.
But you take it out 2 to 3 times.
1 jug.
So your life is like that sugarcane. And your reflection is like?
That sugarcane juice.
No, sugarcane juice is the learning. Life is sugarcane. What is reflection?
Taste.
No.
How many times you take?
The process of getting.
The process of the machine, right? Reflection is that machine through which from the life you're taking the juice out. The juice is the?
Learning.
Exactly. So From tomorrow, when you go back to college or whenever your college is going to start, when you go back to college, what becomes important?
Learning through visualizations.
Reflecting, asking these questions and reflecting. Why is this happening? What are my takeaways from this? What did I feel while I was doing this? You're going in a bus. You're seeing some people seated in a bus. You're seeing some people doing something. There again, you can reflect. What content are they watching on the mobile? Why are they watching? What are they eating? Why are they eating that? Reflecting constantly. What will happen when you're reflecting constantly?
We will learn.
Okay.
Gain knowledge.
We can analyze the situation.
Okay.
Able to think quickly. Yes.
We will be independent in thinking. We don't have to run to others.
Yeah, Manish.
We will start to see the world in our perspective.
Right.
We make it better as observation.
Better observations. So subconsciously, without you knowing, you'll grow over time. Do you want your learning in an autopilot mode? Do you
Yes.
want your learning to happen in autopilot mode? What will happen if your learning happens in autopilot mode?
Learning will be automatic.
And after 1 year, boom, you're a very different person, a very intelligent person than what you are today. You're constantly improving your intelligence. You're constantly improving your personality.
Our thought pattern.
Thoughts as well as emotions.
Yes.
Your genius comes from your feelings, not from your thoughts. Your genius comes from your feelings. How your feelings are regulated within you.
Yes.
And your feelings are regulated through this observation. How you observe the behaviors of others and all. Your feelings come from these observations. So thoughts and feelings are extremely, extremely important. And reflection can help you improve your thoughts and feelings. Reflection can help you improve your thoughts and feelings. Right? So this way you can ask a lot of questions, you can observe. Now, when you write your reflection, would it be important for you to read the reflections of others?
Just it will.
Why?
Yes. To learn from them.
To learn what? To learn the content or to learn the process?
Process.
To learn
Learn
their
the
point of view.
process.
Why are you more interested in their process than their content?
Because it
The
process
content I can create on my
more
own,
genuine.
but I want to know the process of it.
Exactly. Now, Kasim, where do you come from? Where is your native place?
Medak.
Medak. How about you, Hemant?
Hyderabad, sir.
Proper Hyderabad, born and brought up here.
Bandlaguda, sir.
But Bandlaguda means near LB Nagar.
No, near Chilkur.
Acha. Oh, the Bandlaguda Jagir.
Yes, sir.
Sun City.
Bandlaguda. Yes, sir.
Okay. How about you, Manish?
Shadnagar near Hyderabad.
Sorry?
Shadnagar near Hyderabad. It's in
Okay.
Nangar. It's
Yeah. Now, all of you are coming from different backgrounds, no? Everyone grew up in different environment, in a different place, right? Everyone is interested in different things. Someone may be interested in cricket. Someone may be interested in dance. So is everyone's process the same?
No.
Now,
No,
what
sir.
happens when you start paying attention to everyone's process?
We can evolve ourselves to know everything, how they are, how can we represent everything.
You know what? Yeah, go ahead.
You will get the knowledge which you don't need.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. People in deep thought would tell you, even when I watch a movie, I write reflections. There's a lot of learning for me which happens when I watch a movie also. Because I make observations, because that's a part of my personality now to make observations. Now, if you want to grow as a CEO, you want to grow as a leader someday, these observations are very important because you are the one who's creating a system. Everyone follows a system, but you are the one who's creating a system if you're a leader. So for you to create a system, it's very important to make all these minute observations because nobody can teach you that. You'll have to learn it on your own. So that is why in deep thought, we don't teach process. We teach you how to reflect, how to learn on your own, how to self-learn. So this self-learning is very, very important here, and reflection is a key tool of self-learning. Because that's when you'll grow as true leaders, where you're not just able to grow on your own, but you're able to help another 4 people in doing their job efficiently. This is why these reflections are super, super crucial here. And the more you're in deep thought environment, you'll be doing more and more reflections here, because for us, reflections are key to growth. Okay. So I hope I've shown you some methods of how to reflect and why to reflect, but you'll have to keep practicing it. As you keep practicing it, you'll get better at reflections. Now I shall stop and take only questions about how to reflect and so on. Yeah. Those who have questions, just go ahead and ask your questions. You can unmute and ask a question. Yeah, Tushar.
What are the components of a reflection? Like what makes a reflection a reflection?
I think you being able to articulate your thought space, what were you thinking, why were you thinking, what were you thinking, you being able to articulate your feelings. That, let's say, I felt very puzzled when I bowled that ball and the ball turned like that. I for a moment I was puzzled. Then I spent some time, I was thinking, I was clueless, I didn't know what was going on. Then suddenly I realized, oh my God, my leg landed like that. I realized my hand went in a wrong way. Then I asked her, why did my hand go in the wrong way? Then I realized my leg landed in a wrong way. Then I asked, okay, due to this, what happened? Then I suddenly was like, wow, this turned out to be a very good ball. Then I asked myself, where all can I use this ball? Then I realized with most of the batsmen, I can use this ball because most of the batsmen do not know how to play on the offside. And since that day, I started using this tool. So you realize I'm combining my thoughts and feelings. You're retracing what you did to do that. You're retracing your method. You're not retracing the output. In general, when we look at learning, now our focus is on the output. Our focus is not on the process. So before I go to Kasim, let me give one more example. I experiment various kinds of dosas. If you open my Instagram account, you will see different dosas, and I give different names to it. One dosa, I called it Mars dosa, right? The way it looks very weird. Once I experimented a kind of dosa where, once I experimented a dosa which almost looks like a biscuit, a fried dosa or something. It tasted fine. My stomach didn't get disturbed the next day. It was okay. Experiment succeeded. And so a dosa which becomes like a biscuit, I experimented it that way. It's just like an accident. I just tried something and it became that way. Then I asked, okay, what does this represent? What does this dosa mean? Then I asked, okay, how did it end up that way? What happened that way? And one day I, after eating a paneer cheese omelette, I liked the essence of that omelette, right? Where the paneer has got fully mixed with the omelette. So then I wanted to make a dosa with the paneer and the other things embedded inside the dosa, so that it gives you that very nice, chewy, juicy feel, right? Can I make a juicy dosa? So I started experimenting how to get the paneer embedded within the dosa. So you see the reflection, right? I reflected on a cheese omelette. Then I asked, okay, how can I replicate that here? But what to replicate, I was able to connect the dots because I reflected. So now in the reflection space, just the thoughts are not enough. I want to know, okay, why did I like that dosa? I liked that dosa because it was very juicy. I felt nice when I was chewing it. And we humans, we are omnivores. I mean, you could say that you're a vegetarian, but in reality, biologically, we're omnivores. So we get our satisfaction from something which is juicy, like meat. So even if you have a vegetarian thing like meal maker or something, or paneer, which comes close to meat, we tend to like it because it's juicy. So now among meat also, humans like the juicy meat, right? So then I understood, okay, this is what I liked. So can I replicate that? So combining the thoughts and feelings is very important. Does that answer your question, Tushar?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, over to you, Kasim.
Sir, in the reflection part, there were 2 questions, the unlearning and relearning. I didn't get the concept of relearning. Do I have to write what I want to relearn, which I have already learned in the the selection process?
So yeah, let's understand what is learning, what is unlearning, what is relearning. Let me give you an example. Learning is, let us say I learned, let's say I'm a fast bowler and I learned to bowl in a way where I walk straight and then I move side on. My running is chest on. Chest on is my chest is facing the batsman. Side on is like this. So I initially start with chest on and then I turn to side on. Let's say my action is that way. I learned to bowl that way. That's my learning. I learned to bowl that way. Then someone teaches me that with that sort of an action, you'll pull your back. You'll tear your back. And when you tear your back, you'll have too many fitness issues and you'll not be able to bowl consistently. And when you take breaks, your improvement will also collapse because you won't have consistency. When you have consistency, every day you improve 1%. At the end of the year, you've become 37 times better than before. 1% improvement every day is 37 times growth. 37 times growth. That's massive growth. 1% improvement every day. So someone tells me that this is not right. Then what do? I want to unlearn. Unlearn means what? I want to remove them from my brain. I want to delete it from my brain. That's tough. What I know, deleting it from my brain is tough. Now I deleted it successfully. That is fine. Now I need to learn again the correct way. No, that is relearning. Learning is something came into my brain. Unlearning is delete it from my brain. That's very tough. After deleting it from the brain, learning it again is relearning. Now let us say you looked at programming in one way because you learned JavaScript. Now you're learning Python or you're learning C. But C works in a very different way than JavaScript. You may have to unlearn some things, right? Where you thought every programming language is like this only. You have to unlearn. And then now you say, okay, fine, I want to relearn. What are the flavors of programming languages? Or let us say, you believe that girls are useless. Girls can't do any other work. You know, you come from a patriarchal family and they're told that women are supposed to sit at home and, clean the vessels and all of that. You learn that way. Then you come to a DT kind of an environment and you see women bringing very new perspectives, which maybe men cannot bring in. Then what do? You unlearn all those ideas you have around women. Now, once you have emptied the brain with respect to the wrong ideas, now you ask, okay, I want to relearn. I want to learn what is the importance of gender diversity in the workplace. Why, companies like Deep Thought always look for, gender diversity, that we want all kinds of people and all genders, all regions, all economic spectrum. We want different kinds of people so that different ideas are coming in. That is relearning, right? Unlearning is to unlearn that, okay, women are not capable, women are always, women are emotional, men are rational is utter nonsense. Okay. So everyone is emotional, everyone is rational, right? Now that is unlearning, removing that kachra from the brain. Relearning is now learning the new ideas, right? Making the way and then learning the new ideas. That is unlearning and relearning. Does that answer your question, Kasim?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Shubham, go ahead.
Actually, I want to know, is there any negative point of reflection?
Yeah, sometimes you can go into overthinking, no? Overthinking can be problematic. You try, so you can go into analysis paralysis. What is analysis paralysis? Analysis paralysis is you're constantly trying to analyze, you're constantly trying to improve things, you don't start at all. You want to make a dosa, you're planning for 1 week and you're never making the dosa. That's analysis paralysis. You're doing so much of analysis that you're not starting at all. So when you do overthinking, you can get into analysis paralysis. Or sometimes when you're overthinking, you can go into a kind of, if you don't do reflection in the right way, right? You're very negative in the way you talk to yourself. You use negative words. I'm bad and all. That can again lead to, very negative consequences. Rather, if you use conversational intelligence and reflect, right? You use positive words. I've been able to do it this way, but I would like to do it in a better way. I see it not as a weakness. I see it as an improvement area. Then you'll be kind to yourself. When you're kind to yourself, you'll believe in yourself and you'll go forward. And if there are too many people who are negative around you, conversational intelligence is even more needed for you. If you have a lot of negative people around you, you need conversational intelligence in a big way to keep yourself positive among negative people. Does that answer your question, Shubham?
I have another question.
Sure.
As you know that in Deep Thought, we do have a TOC session where we all reflect what we have done till 4 hours. So how do we find that this person has really learned in these 4 hours, or is it just wasting his time? How we can find it at that moment?
My answer is simple, right? So how do you know whether you learned something, or how do you know whether you did something meaningful? You have to, that's a different workshop we're going to have sometime. It's the art of reviewing. If there's the art of reflection, that's the art of reviewing. How do you conduct reviews?
Okay.
As a leader, knowing how to do reviews is very important. If you know reflection very well in individual capacity, as an individual, if you know reflection well, all of you listen carefully. As an individual, if you know reflection well, as a leader, you will be able to do review well. Reflection you're doing from an individual capacity, right? But review, you can do a review for the whole team or the whole group. Is the whole group going in the right direction, or where do we have to change the course? You'll know how to do review properly. In the review, you ask questions, what were the outcomes I was wanting to achieve? What outcomes did I want to achieve? Was I able to achieve all of them? How much was I able to achieve? How much was I not able to achieve? You define what did I want to achieve? Was I able to achieve? And you see the gap. Why there was a gap? That's how you do reviews. There's a way to do reviews. We are conducting this workshop for startup founders also. So we're going to do that this week sometime. So you can attend that workshop on how to do reviews. So whether you were successful or not, you can learn that by doing reviews. And you see Rajesh, Yugandhar sir, all of them were doing reviews for teams, right? From that, you can learn how to review. We are also going to get one workshop from Yugandhar sir on how to do reviews properly. He is a master at reviews. He doesn't just grill you with questions, but he also tells you where you can improve. He gives you feedback also at the end. Yeah, what do you, Sudiksha?
I want to know the major difference between summary and reflection.
Okay, good question. So now in summary, what are you doing? In summary, you're summarizing what you learned, right? Now what you learned as output, or is it process?
Process.
The output.
Correct. But in reflection, what are you focusing more on?
The process.
Did I answer your question?
Yes.
So now let us say you made a dosa. You made a very good dosa. Summary would be, I did this, I got this, that's it. But in the reflection, you're analyzing, I tried this, it didn't go well. Why it didn't go well? Maybe this is why it didn't go well. Maybe in these situations it'll go well, but this situation it won't go well. This was an accident, but it turned out to be a good accident. While doing this, I felt this way. In summary, do you express your feelings? In reflection, you do.
Yeah.
So Sudiksha, when you express your feelings, there's a connection between you and your learning. You relate with your learning. You connect with your learning, and eventually learning becomes a habit for you, less painful for you. It becomes that source of joy for you in your life. When we can connect with our learning. Kasim, before I go to you for your question, I want to tell a nice story. So one of my favorite movies is this Telugu movie called Maharishi. Okay. So I love that movie because it, first half it teaches you what is ambition. First half, that movie just teaches you what is ambition, that you could be coming from anywhere, from any background, but you can be really ambitious. But the second half teaches you what it means to be a leader. The Hindi dubbing is available. I would encourage all of you to watch this movie called Maharishi of Mahesh Babu. It's a beautiful movie. It has wonderful lessons in it. A lot of people didn't receive it well because it was beyond the IQ of Telugu audience to understand it. Telugu audience usually has very low IQ. Okay. Tamil, Malayalam people make better movies. So, but some Telugu movies, they make very good movies and they don't get response. So this movie, Maharshi, at the end of the movie, he reflects on his journey and he tells the real problem of Indian agriculture is there's no connect between the people who are eating the food and the farmer who's growing the food. He says the connection is broken. And his solution to the problem is weekend farming. He tells like how you go to a disco and all to enjoy over weekends. Instead of going there, go to a farm and do farming over the weekend for 2 days. And if you can do farming over 2 days, farming is such a wonderful activity that you can learn and you can become a better human. You can improve your personality. So you want to de-stress from your software job, instead of going to a disco or something, you can go here and you can do farming, and with that you can de-stress is what he says. And he shows that, and he says in this process, what is happening is you're connecting with agriculture, and when you're connecting with agriculture, Indian agriculture automatically will improve because people will know where to help and how to help. Today, farmers are having sympathy, he says, and he says farmers do not need sympathy, farmers need respect. That is one dialogue he shows there. And those of you whose parents are farmers, I'm sure you would have connected with this movie in a big way, right? That farmers are doing a huge social service to all of us, right? By doing a job which no one wants to do. So now he's brought a reflection, right? The reflection is the connect, that there's a source. From that source, you're getting an output and you're eating that output, but you're not able to understand that journey from the source to the output. There's a source inside your brain, Sudiksha, which is producing that learning, which is producing that decision, which is producing all those mental activities. But it's important for us to connect with that source from time to time. That source is that feeling, that source is that process, that mental process. When you can articulate what that mental process is, when you can articulate what that feeling is, you get control of that process. And when you get control of that process, you become a better engineer of that process. You improve that process. So what happens when you're improving that process? You become an intelligent person. These processes are what make people intelligent. So that is the main difference between summary and reflection. In reflections, you're going a lot more into the process. You're going into your feelings. You express your feelings more and more. When you express your feelings more and more, mark my words, within 2 weeks, you'll become a very changed person. Within 2 weeks. People around you, when they see your body language, they'll be like, what happened to you? There'll be an aura around you. You ask Nitin, Tushar or Saurav, they'll tell you when they came into, or even Shubham for that matter, who's been with us for a few weeks, there'll be a difference in the body language of the person after doing lots of reflection. There'll be a positive vibe around you. People will feel that positive vibe around you. Do you want that? Do you want to appear as that super positive person whom everyone wants to talk to?
Yes, I want.
You guys get that, right? When I speak, you see my eyebrows, you see my eyes and all. And when you have that, right, even you speak nonsense, people will listen to you. The other day, I think in a workshop, I did a demonstration also. You guys want to see that demonstration where you speak rubbish and still people listen to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'll show you that now. I mean, I enjoy doing this demonstration, not to show off my skills, but to tell you that you could do this too. If I can do this, you can do this too. And when you can influence people this way, no, you can be that agent of change. You can be that agent of change. Now, let me demonstrate that to you. I've done this multiple times, but every time I do, I see that people always pay attention to what I speak. I could be speaking about gobar. I could be speaking about rubbish. I could be speaking something which makes no sense. I don't know what I'm supposed to talk, but I'm still talking something. I'm just throwing some sentences next. I'm just talking this way, but still people are listening to me because I'm talking in a way that people want to listen. I could be going super fast. I'm going so fast that people can't even listen to my words very carefully, but still they're listening to every bloody word. They can understand every word because my phonetics, my words are pronounced clearly. Just because I'm going fast doesn't mean I'm half pronouncing a word. I'm pronouncing every word to the fullest. Because I'm pronouncing every word to the fullest and because I'm sustaining their attention, people are actually listening to me while I talk to them. Sometimes I have to go fast like this. Because people enjoy me being fast and people enjoy even more that even though I was fast, they were able to grasp it. They get that sense of achievement that they were able to get it. But sometimes you have to go slow because you have to give people the time to think and enjoy it. This is how you communicate. You got what I showed you, right? Now for doing this, it's very important to look inwards, not outside, look inwards, introspect, and also look at the body language of your people from time to time. When you start paying attention to your feelings and feelings of other people, when you start paying attention to your feelings and feelings of other people, like right now when I'm talking, I'm looking at Rakesh. Rakesh his eyes have become small. He's become super focused. He's like very keenly thinking. Or you look at Hemant, his eyes are opened up very big. And his eyes are not moving. He's like intently, listening. Right? So now if you look at Uday, he's like entertained. he's, smiling. And now he's like, why the hell are they looking at me? Let the attention go somewhere else. So, when you start looking at people, now Kasim is like, I hope it doesn't come my way now. So, right. And now he feels embarrassed. So he's gone back. So when you can really look at the people's eyes and understand what mental frame people are in, you know how to communicate better. When you communicate, people will want to listen to you. People will want to be around you. Would you want to be a leader where people are with you because you boss around them? Or would you want to be a leader where people are constantly seeking your time and when people constantly want to be with you? You want to be the Bahubali kind of leader or Ballal Dev kind of leader?
Bahubali.
When Bahubali was removed as a king, what happened?
He went to rule a village where he went
with him. And what did I say? As long as this fellow is alive, wherever this fellow is a king. Because
that mindset.
He had that empathy, compassion, the higher level intelligences. Higher level intelligence is not logical thinking and all. Higher level intelligence is that empathy, compassion. These are very high level of intelligence. Compassion is you being able to feel the pain of others. Like the students of, I think, both SVIT and Avinash College of Commerce, I took this example. Some idiot passed a remark on someone and has scolded that person. And I said, you people have this problem. And suddenly everybody's eyes were like intense. Why? Because I could feel their pain. When you can feel the pain, when you can feel the same pain that your people are feeling, that's compassion. And when you show compassion, people listen to you. People follow you. People obey you. Because they feel safe with you. Now, when you do more and more reflection, you can improve your empathy. You can improve your compassion. You can become a servant leader. A lot of times what happens, we compare ourselves with others. When we compare, what happens? Jealousy. And what happens with jealousy? Our self-esteem goes down. Self-respect goes down. Confidence goes down. We stop trying. But when you stop comparing and you start celebrating the success of others. Somebody's getting more marks than you. You celebrate. No jealousy. You feel happy. You feel like a better human. You keep getting better. Celebrating the success of your peers. Right? And seeing how you can help them. Not how you can compete with them, but how you can help them. Then you grow as a leader. From competitive to collaborative mindset. All these things can happen with reflection. And you will be happy. When you see pride, lust, jealousy, anger, these are negative emotions. They kill you internally. When you remove those negative emotions and go into more of positive emotions, right? You nurture your self-esteem. You try to help other people. You're generous. You have gratitude. You show gratitude. You show generosity. You show compassion. You show empathy. You show these things. You feel nice. Every day you're happy. And when you're a happy person, your energy attracts all other people towards you. And you're sorted, right? Every day you're like, chill. You're just going about life in a nice way. Would you want that life?
Yes, sir.
So that's why reflection again is important. So, and if you think about it, Buddhist people are really, really good at reflection. The other day I was in one college called Avanti College. They called me as a guest of honor for a fest they were doing on Swami Vivekananda. So that day, one lady from Swami Vivekananda's institute came there. And she said, Tarun, we're struggling how to get people to learn this. And eventually they're saying that, are you teaching our students sannyasam and all of that? Then I told her, ma'am, your same sannyasam I'm teaching to people and charging 5,000 rupees per month per company per employee and making money out of it. And then she was like, laughing. I was saying these Buddhist traditions are needed in, everyone's life. I mean, you could say Buddhist, if you look at Vedanta, in Vedanta, you have all of this. You have meditation, you have Mimamsa and all of this. In Islam also, in some form or the other, you'll have, in religious traditions, spiritual traditions, philosophical traditions, in all traditions, you have these modes of reflection. Now, if you think about it, people go to a temple and people just close their eyes and meditate. What is meditation? Meditation is not like, going and connecting with Shiva, standing on one leg and saying Shiva, 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 Shiva. That's not meditation. Meditation is you look inwards, you hear your thoughts, you hear your feelings very, very clearly. That is meditation. That is why every religion is interested in meditation. You go do your namaz. That's what you're doing. Namaz is reflection. You do your pradakshinas. You're doing reflection. But what has it happened? It has become a ritual rather than a reflection. Mindless ritual. I'll tell you this through an example. Once upon a time, this is a folk tale. There was one guru who used to meditate. And every time he used to meditate, one cat used to disturb his meditation. One cat used to disturb his meditation. Because the cat used to disturb his meditation, he would ask his pupils to tie the cat first and then they start their meditation. After a while, the guru died, the cat also died. But every time they used to do meditation, they used to find a cat from somewhere, tie it and then do meditation. You understand the problem with superstitions? Superstition is when a ritual becomes mindless. That ritual was done because they were like, let's chain the cat so that it doesn't disturb and then we start the meditation. But when the cat is only not there, why do you want to chain it? Why do you want to find a cat and chain it? So when you do namaz, the objective of namaz is not that, Allah will be upset with you if you don't do namaz. The objective of namaz is you want to meditate, you want to become a better human, you want to serve humanity, you want entire humanity to be around brotherhood, sisterhood, or whatever you call it. Why do you do pradakshinas? You circumambulate, and while you circumambulate and while you, close your eyes and pray, you want to bring that better human out of yourself. Christianity, again, when you go to a church, you light a candle or something. Again, those rituals are around bringing a better person out of you. Sunday, you go to a church. Why every Sunday church? Because that's a ritual. Every Sunday, like how Deep Thought has every Wednesday LDI. So every Sunday you go there, do this. That is making sure it's a habit. Rituals are brought in for creating habits. Or there's a fasting process. That's again to set your biological clock into something. There's a ritual. You do the ritual in a mindless way. Some rituals are obsolete today. Some rituals are not needed today because the society is different today. Right? So, but the rituals which are needed, most of the rituals are around reflection. So all of this is about improving your quality of life. And what would quality of life do? It would improve your quality of thinking. It would improve your intelligence. And what would intelligence do? More value creation. More value creation means the company, the business is growing. When the business is growing, what do? Your designation and your responsibility, that also grows. Your growth is in your company's growth. But that needs your personal growth. That is your personality growth. Your growth is in your personality growth and your growth is in your company's growth. You grow as a personality and use that personality to grow your company. Does this make sense? And all of this needs that introspection, that meditation, looking inwards. And this unlearning, relearning are important. Why? Because we have some biases, right, inside us. We are looking at things only in one way. Now we want to go and change them, no? When we write that this is what I want to unlearn. If you tell, no, I want to unlearn this. I have a lot of jealousy. I want to change that jealousy. The moment you write it down, over a period of time, you'll unlearn it. If you continuously write, over a period of time, you'll unlearn it. If you remind yourself, reminding yourself is important. And through reflection, you can remind yourself that I want to overcome my jealousy. If you have the courage to come out and say, this is what I have in me, I want to change it. In a reflection, if you have the courage to state it, over a period of time, you'll be able to overcome it. So that is why reflections are super, super, super powerful to change yourself. All right. So yeah, Qasim, your question.
Sir, my question might be silly, but like this whole class is all about reflections. So do I have to change only my reflection part, or do I have to start from the Eureka challenge?
Up to you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, my question is
What do
that
you
how to
suggest?
develop self-confidence with reflection?
Now, if you're not confident, what is the question you would ask if you're reflecting? You're on mute, Deepak.
Why am I unable to speak in front of others? What's the problem going in mind?
Correct. Now, so then Deepak, the questions to ask with reflection, the question to ask is, where are you right now? What is that point A which you're in right now? What is that point A which you're in right now? Where do you want to go? Because everything you're trying to achieve in life is like a journey, no? I'm at A, I want to go to B. My company is doing this much of sales, it has to increase the sales. My company has these many features in the product. I want to increase the features. Or my feature is currently giving this much satisfaction. I want to increase the satisfaction. Everything is a journey. You ask, where am I today? Where do I want to go? Then you ask, where is my company today? Where is my company going to go? And whatever I'm telling, is it helping people in going from A to B? If you know that what you're telling is helping people in going from A to B, what would you tell yourself? Go and tell it. What if you don't tell it well? What if you don't tell it well? That's okay. Even if you tell it in a normal way, you're still helping people improve.
Yes, sir.
Matlab, if you know what you're doing, and if you know what you're doing is good, you'll get the confidence from that.
Yes, sir.
And if you know you're not doing it well, by reflecting, you can know where to improve.
Yes, sir.
And one more thing is, Deepak, a lot of times we all are like Hanuman, imposter syndrome. Hanuman is the brand ambassador of imposter syndrome. What is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome means even if you're good, you're thinking you're bad. You're not believing enough in yourself. Most of the people today in the world have this problem of imposter syndrome. Even though you're strong, you don't know how strong you are. In Ramayana, did Hanuman know that he could jump till Lanka? Who had to tell him?
No, sir. No, sir.
Who tells him?
Ram.
No.
Who has 100 lions?
No. One person goes and tells, Sare, why are you struggling? You can jump over, just go jump. One person goes
Bear
and
man.
huh?
Bear face.
In
The man
Vanar,
who has bear face.
yes. In Vanar Sena, that person. Who is that person with bear face?
Jamunji.
Jambavan tells him that, hey, you can jump, and he jumps. So like that, a lot of people have imposter syndrome. Until someone comes and tells you are capable, you won't know you're capable. So with reflection, what are you knowing? With reflection, you are knowing your capability. Once you know your capability, your confidence can come from there. Now, before I go into Tushar's question, let me tell you something very important. Reflection is not just about correcting your weakness. Reflection is also about knowing your strength. If you are Virender Sehwag, you know what Sachin used to tell to Sehwag all the time? Viru to defense mat khel. He used to tell Viru, don't play defense, you'll get out. Did you guys get the joke? Sehwag,
Yes,
that batsman, would hit every ball. Even he was on 195, he hit the ball. He hit a 6 and got his double century. Once he got out on 194 or something, he got out near the boundary by hitting a 6. Normal people, what will they say? Oh shit, I shouldn't have hit a 6. I should have taken singles to hit double century. You know what Sehwag said? He got out hitting a 6. He could not make a 200. You know what Sehwag said after that?
I'll make it again.
No, he said, yaar, thoda timing miss ho gayi thi. I should have hit it a little harder. It would have gone for a 6. He didn't repent going for a 6. He said, I should have hit it harder. That is his attitude. So Sachin told him, don't try to play defense, just hit every ball. So there were pitches where all the batsmen would get out because the pitch is very difficult to play. And this fella hits double century and comes back. Difficult batting track. Because he is like, I don't know what the pitch is. I don't know who the bowler is. I'm here to hit the ball. For him, his life philosophy was very simple.
Sir, the best example is Surya Kumar Yadav.
No, Surya Kumar Yadav is nothing, man. You guys have not seen Sehwag. If you've seen Sehwag, you'll know who that man is. You know, if you want statistics, right? Look at caught behind. The number of caught behinds for Sehwag are very low. A bowler is scared to even think of catching the ball which Sehwag hits. He hits it so hard. He's such a guy who will hit everything. You know, his life philosophy is very simple. That bowler is bowling the ball for a reason. Why? So that I can hit it. Pitch, technique, front foot, back foot, straight drive, cover drive, nothing. There's a ball which is bowled. My job is to take the bat and hit it. That's it. Focus, right? My job is to hit the ball. That's it. He was such a player. Now, people would have told Sehwag, your weakness is defense, correct your defense, correct your elbow and all of that. He didn't focus on that. He focused on how to improve his hitting only. He focused on improving his strength. Now, what happened when he kept improving his strength? He was one of the most consistent hitters in world cricket. Generally, what happens with hitters? There's a risk, no? When there's a risk, will you have consistency? Even though his path was full of risk, he was able to deliver consistent results. Now, such batsmen are dangerous. There are very few such batsmen, Adam Gilchrist, Surya Kumar Yadav, and all these people who take risks, but they're still consistent. And in IPL auctions, they go for huge prizes because even though they're hitters, they're consistent. Or Sachin Tendulkar, when he came in, right? When Sachin came to world cricket, you know why people were excited about him? Was Sachin a technique player? Was he seen as a technique player? He had a great technique, but he was not seen like a technique player. He was seen like a hitter. He was seen like a consistent hitter. He had so many shots. He could play the shots so well. He would attack. He was that fellow who would hit Shane Warne. He would hit McGrath. He would hit all these world's best bowlers. You guys get what I'm saying? So it's not just about improving your weakness. It is also about
Consistency.
About knowing our strengths.
knowing your strengths and working on your strengths, because I'll give you confidence. So Deepak, to answer your question, reflection can give you confidence by knowing your strengths.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Tushar, last question for the day. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, hello, sir. I have a question, sir.
Yeah, Meher.
Sir, you said about hitting. You can say example of Chris Gayle also. Means he's also good striker for every ball.
Yes. There's so many people that way. Because they kept improving on their strength.
Like if we see many West Indies players, Chris Gayle is among them who has hit every ball. Like we have seen 175, he scored in IPL, he's 66 ball.
Correct. So now, Meher, you're looking at the output. Now, in reflection, what do we focus on now after the output?
Yes, sir, I
Process.
did not get it.
You're looking at output. Chris Gayle's 175 is
We
output.
focus on process, how he has the skill.
But I think he has been consistent in hitting, so he has
Exactly,
been.
that's the output.
really
Consistent hitting is the output. Consistent hitting is the output. Now, what do you focus on?
Sometimes he may got on 0 out for hitting 6.
Here
Sometimes
you're lacking focus. You're lacking focus. You're not listening. I would say go through this video again. You're lacking focus. You're not listening. I can tell you very clearly you didn't learn from this workshop. I can tell you. I can confidently tell you. You know what is your problem here? Selective attention. This is what I told to a lot of people. You know what is selective attention? You'll only listen to what you want to listen. You'll not listen to what I'm telling you. I taught what is a reflection so many times. I answered Sudiksha and I said, it's about going to the process. You didn't register it. The problem is you may watch a lot of courses. You'll still not learn because your mind is occupied with what you want to know. Your mind is not listening carefully. Selective attention is a huge problem. No, but Deepak caught it. Deepak, when I say he's a consistent hitter, what do we do next? What do we ask?
What is he doing the thing why he's so consistent?
Exactly. What is making him a consistent hitter? He's having a range of shots. So that for different balls, he can choose the shot carefully and he's got good shot selection. Now, what is the question you'll ask again?
What is the process for being that sort of?
What is the process for good shot selection? That is, for the ball is able to select which shot to play. So that way you keep decoding a process. Most of the people only look at the outcome. When you look at the outcome, what will happen? You'll only know how to clap. But when you decode the process, you will become the Chris Gayle. So you can operate in the process layer or you can operate in just looking at the outcome. But when you operate in the process layer, you'll know how to produce better results. Right? And for this, reflection is important, but apart from reflection, listening very carefully. And if you want to improve your listening, take notes. What is the first thing Saurav asked after coming? He asked for thread builder link. Thread builder is a tool of deep thought through which we listen carefully. Why did Saurav ask for thread builder? Because he knows he wants to listen carefully. And if you see Nitin, Saurav, Tushar, they're looking at the computer screen constantly. You know why? They're thread building. They're writing threads of what all they're registered right now. So listening is important. Yeah, Tushar, last question for the day.
Yeah. So sometimes it so happens that you have constantly acquired a lot of experiences and all, learnings that you don't know where to start reflecting and what to reflect on. So what do you do at that time?
I think go back to your basics, right? Your basics are, you ask, why am I doing this? How am I doing this? What is my process? What is my outcome? What outcome did I get out of what process? Why did I get that outcome out of that process? Ask these basic questions. For reflection, when you have your basic questions, you'll have a starting point. Because what are the fundamental things you want to know? Fundamental things you want to know is, one is, how am I feeling? Am I feeling comfortable? Because you want to make sure you feel comfortable with the process, right? You want to make sure you feel comfortable, you feel excited. What happens if you're not comfortable and excited? You won't do it. The first step is to make yourself comfortable and excited. That's one reflection to do. Was I comfortable and excited when I did this? Second step is, what process did I learn and what output will it give? Right? And the third thing you would ask is, what are the accidents over here and what did I learn from the accidents? These would be, I think, 3 fundamentals. You can start with these fundamentals and then build other things around the fundamentals. Okay, now we will stop this, but as always in all workshops, we'll listen to reflections before ending. I want you guys to go ahead. What are your takeaways? How are you feeling? What are your feelings and thoughts after this workshop? What are your takeaways? So when I say your takeaways, it's not just a summary. You can bring in your feelings also, how you were feeling while you were not doing this and so on. Your thoughts and feelings together. Go ahead. Come on, people, who's going in with a reflection? You learn more actively only when you reflect. You want to gain more out of this workshop? Reflect right now. Raise your hand. Raise your hand, whoever wants to reflect.
Sir, the thing that I have, the thing that I have learned from this workshop is how to deeply analyze.
I want 5 people to raise the hand. The 5 people who want to go with reflection, raise your hand. Zoom has raise hand button, right? Yeah, Zoom has raise hand button. You just click on the 3 dots at the bottom and click raise hand. Yeah, Ayman raised hand. 4 more seats. Who wants to go in? Saurav raised hand. Tushar raised hand. Okay, Kasim. Okay. Zoom has raised hand. Okay, you click the reactions button and click raise hand. Reactions button and raise hand. No, Hemant, there's something else called raise hand. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Meher, there's a reactions button. You can click on raise hand. Yeah. Whoever wants to reflect, you can click on raise hand. Yeah, Ayman, you went first. Go ahead.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah.
So today in this workshop, the first thing that I learned is the process, how to relearn and unlearn. So can you hear me, sir?
Yes, you're audible. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the thing that I learned was the part of reflection, how it should be done. What is the process of reflection?
Okay.
And the examples that you told for the process of reflection were a simple tool to understand what you are actually trying to say or what you are trying to convey.
Okay.
And one more thing that I understood from this meeting is that the example which you told regarding Sevag, in the consistency of Sevag. So in that, I understood that being the best is not doing good every time. It means we have to be consistent all the time and give our best, not just 1 time or 2 times. So that is what is needed as a leader, being always consistent and reliable.
Okay. Thank you, Ayman. What do you, Saurav?
Sir, we should not copy the process. We should think of the idea behind the process, and then we can easily do the thing.
Okay. Thank you, Hemant. What do you, Saurav?
So there were like multiple threads that just like made me like you recommend for me like one of the thread was like that innovation, like how accidents happen and when you understand it, when you decode it, the innovation, and the another thread was like about like when we reflect, we don't get jealous of other, we understand ourselves, and that is so important. That is so important again, being into an innovation environment, it becomes so crucial because you not jealous, but you feel your self-esteem make you low sometimes, go low at times. But if you understand and go deeper into it, like you'll understand, okay, there's not to be envious about, but to learn from them. And you don't start like trying. And the you recommend for me was when you connected that the source thing, that meant how reflection can help you connect with your mental source. In the way you connected with the analogy of that movie from where he has to connect about the agriculture. So these are very like very like what I can say, you recommend for me. And more than that, the process that we learned today, like this type of workshop, when like it is actually into a Socratic learning, like where you are asking question, everyone is reflecting. Like this is the one thing that I want to get like also. Like if I can conduct this type of workshop someday.
This is what I want people to do as well. Socratic workshops. Yeah, thank you, Saurav. It was nice to hear your Eureka moments. Over to you, Tushar.
Yes, I have a lot of takeaways. Point number one, I first observed that in all the instances where you were talking about different ideas, you used examples in all of them. And when we were listening to those ideas, at least personally, I was able to, relate those ideas to something that were familiar to me, and that aided in my process of reflecting and better understanding those ideas. So, it shows the importance of using anecdotes, analysis and stuff. And point number two, the components that you talked about, how reflection is about process and not the outcomes. So a lot of times from workshops and stuff, meetings and stuff, I would not be able to think about, or like I would think what were some of the learnings that I have had, instead of thinking how I might have had that learning, because of which I might not be able to reflect. So via this workshop, I got to reflect on the process itself. So I think I better understood the art of reflection. And again, that pointer of accidents and misconceptions and stuff. So again, got to reflect on that and how important they are. And finally, one of the biggest pointers was about how emotions and feelings are related to reflection, and how this daily ritual or habit of reflecting can help us solve a lot of problems that we are trying to solve, and stuff like, such as again, problems with self-esteem and self-confidence and stuff. So yeah, those were the pointers.
Thank you, Tushar. Over to you, Qasim.
In this whole workshop, I have observed you, Tarun sir, as choosing your words and your examples. So this was a different, whole different pedagogy, teaching, like choosing your words so carefully that every student attending this should understand, and through consistency and and making our own reflections would make us independent, and and will not run to others for any of the work. And a positive a positive uh, environment would be created around us, and we won't be jealous of others if they are doing something right, because I would be doing the same in a better way. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Qasim. Over to you, Deepak.
Sir, the things that I have learned from this workshop is to develop our strong how to deeply analyze ourselves, and how to develop our strong characteristics. Should we focus only on process, whatever outcomes may come, it may be succeed or fail, but we should focus on the process and to improve the process day by day regularly.
Okay. Thank you, Deepak. Over to you, Mihir.
I have learned that consistency is the key to success. Like to begin best, we should not be hitting centuries like one time. We should be consistent with everything. Like if you see Virat Kohli, he is known as batsman, but he's consistent with his centuries and winning the games.
Okay.
And I have seen that you have given the great examples with the great like stories.
Okay. Thank you, Mihir.
That how
Over to you, Hemant.
So we should focus on processes, and we should think how we should not copy the him directly, but we should uh, think the idea behind the process, and we should focus more on that rather than copying it directly. Copying his actions.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else wants to add something?
Sir, I want to like to add sir, the workshops that I have learned. One more thing is to self-analyze and self-doubt and self-identify what we have gone wrong. What can be done more things to reflection.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Deepak. Who wants? Anyone else wants to add something?
Yes, I found that point very interesting, where that if you like something, instead of copying directly, we should decode the thing to get a better clarity. Yes, sir, I like the thing more.
Not just decoding, Manish. You might be able to use the same process for producing something else.
Yeah, sir, exactly.
And see, this will get a little crazy, right? What was the process used to create the process? What was the process used to create the process that created the process?
Yes, sir.
The process for the process, the process for the process for the process. So you go deeper and deeper into how that's happening. And the more you go deeper into the fundamentals, you're a genius.
Yes,
You analyze all the geniuses in the world. They were the so-called geniuses because they could go to the roots and understand it from the fundamentals. And reflection can help you go to the roots and understand the fundamentals. Your textbooks, your life, your career, your learning, everything gets more beautiful when you can go into the fundamentals.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for joining in. I've recorded the session and I'll be uploading it on YouTube shortly. And I hope this helps all of you in refining your reflection submissions, those of you who came in for the selection process. Thank you, everyone.